Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we normally break down videos and do technical analysis because we don't really get into drama from all the idiots on YouTube and all the other nonsense that they talk about. But I have to address this Alexander Isak saga because, quite frankly, there aren't any adults in the room. And I'm talking from Sky Sports News, that Talk Sport, Simon Jordan's talking utter nonsense again. And there was another channel, well, I think a lot of them. There was a Newcastle United fan on, I think it's called the Football Terrace, and he was just prattling utter nonsense, talking about the contract and his marriage contract, and if you break a contract, or all this. I'm just going like, what are you lot prattling on about? This saga started back in probably 2024, well, with Dan Ashworth, leaving Newcastle United and not being replaced. Newcastle United are a poorly run football club. Let's just be honest. You can't sit there and say, oh, we're a great run football club, except for our prize asset and our star wants to renegotiate his contract, and he's told he can't renegotiate his contract. He has to wait until the summer. Now, why is that important? Well, because when he came to Newcastle, he was a nobody. So he just got the wages that he deserved, and away he goes. Now he's a somebody, and he's won them a cup. He's one of the best strikers in the world, and he's a constant Premier League top goal scorer in and around the mix. So his wage should be changed. He knows it, you know it, and I know it. So he goes to Newcastle United and says, there, can you change my wage and renegotiate this contract? And their answer was no. Well, what? Hold on. I'm on £10 an hour, and there's other strikers out there that are on £20 an hour, and I should be on £30 an hour. Well, no, you're staying at £10 an hour. What? But I score more goals than these guys. They're on £30 an hour. I want to triple my wage because I'm worth it. No, sorry, mate. Talk to us in the summer. All right. I'm not. So he has a little bit of a think about it, comes around and says, right, this is my last year at the club. I'm leaving. Gives them a whole year and they do nothing. Then they start pursuing targets that are above their pay grade. And unfortunately, by the way, I do like Newcastle as a football club. It's just that they are poorly run and they don't know what they're doing. They pursue a bunch of targets that they can't get hold of, make themselves look stupid in the transfer window, and their prize asset is saying, well, I'm not staying for you because I asked you to renegotiate my contract. You refused that fact. Now you're saying I can't leave the football club, which quite frankly happens all the time. When your player is playing better, chances are they're worth more money, and then you go, oh yeah, he's actually worth a lot more than we actually paid for him, and we need to renegotiate it, put a clause in his contract so he can't dip out and run away, and maybe we should pay him accordingly. Because every single one of you, if you were doing a job and you were getting paid less money than somebody else that was getting paid 3 times and they were doing a worse job than you, you'd be upset as well. And that's what this comes down to, because everyone talks about loyalty and all this other nonsense in football. And let me take you a little secret source about every single footballer on the planet. They don't care about winning the Champions League. They don't care about your football club. They care about how much money a week they're getting paid. That is it. That's all they care about. They don't care about if you're not playing them. They don't care about anything else. Just how much money am I getting paid a week? Am I still getting paid that a week? Well, I don't care. That's it. He's actually in a situation where he should probably get paid double or a little bit more, almost 1.5 times the amount that he's getting paid a week. And Newcastle aren't happy with that. And maybe it doesn't even fit into their wage structure. They can't deal with it. And they haven't dealt with it. And then they've put Isak in a situation where he knows, I'm in the prime of my career and I need to be earning this money because it's not going to be there forever. I'm off. You had the opportunity to renegotiate my contract. You didn't do it. I'm getting out. I'm off. Happens all the time in football. And I've never seen such a baby childlike reaction from a football club where people have gone, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't renegotiate a contract. You can't do that. Every single football club has had a player that's done this one. I've done it to them. I think Liverpool, first time they had a big time player do this was Philip Coutinho. Was saying, yeah, I'm going to Barcelona. And they were like, all right, mate, but you're staying here and doing this for a season. Okay, great. And I think he notified them 2 years before, and they managed to wingle their way to keep him for 1 year, and then he left or whatever. Everyone's had it happen. And the fact that the poorly run football club hasn't been able to get any of their transfer targets in shows you that they're a poorly run football club. You can't have 6, maybe 7 targets turn you down, and you say, oh, no, we're run brilliantly. Yeah, we know exactly what we're doing. They don't. And if they're talking about PSR and financial money coming into the club, well, Chelsea sold their women's team to themselves for 200 million. You could get your financial fair play. You can get your PSR up massively. You're Newcastle United. So what does that tell you? If the owners aren't doing anything behind the scenes and selling their car park naming rights to themselves for 10 million and doing all that, it means their owners aren't serious. They're not really interested in trying to bring in wealth into Newcastle Football Club and build it up like everyone assumes that they want to do because Man City did it. Doesn't mean that the owners at Newcastle are going to do the same thing. Just because they've got loads of money, it doesn't mean they're going to put it into Newcastle United. Because, quite frankly, there's 100 ways that they could come up with ideas of getting their revenue up off the books, just like everybody else seems to be doing, and they're not doing it. They go, oh, we're trying to be squeaky clean. Really? No one cares about us being squeaky clean in the Premier League. Have a look at Manchester City and their 115 charges. They're not squeaky clean. Everybody knows it. No, Man City don't care because they're going forward on an agenda because they're a well-run, well-oiled, well-organised football club. Newcastle aren't. Newcastle have put themselves in a situation that they're just... It's almost untenable. Like, the player doesn't want to be there. The fans don't want him there. What are you doing then? You need to get in targets. Well, we can't sell him because if we sell him, then we've got loads of money and everyone knows we've got money, and then they're not going to give us our transfer targets. You're not getting your transfer targets anyway. Like, all this is told every single professional football player is if I go there, it could be a massive problem. So if I've got a choice between anybody in Newcastle, they're going to choose anybody. Why has that happened? Because they're a poorly run football club. And remember, players talk. Players are all loyal. Guess who to? Football players. Not to football clubs, to money and football players. That's their peers. They couldn't care less. As much as it pains all the football fans in the world to find out that their football players don't really care about the shirt, they care about the paycheck that they're getting. Well, that's just reality. And then you'll always have someone in the comment, oh, there was this player, he stayed at our football club through thick and thin and did that. Yeah, that's the anomaly that happens maybe once in a life. It's not reality. Yeah, great, it happened once, brilliant. It's just not the truth. Stop lying. And that's a problem that you have in this footballing world, is there's too many people just lying and they just don't get held accountable. Alexander Isak made it perfectly clear in Newcastle that it was his last year of playing or renegotiate his contract. They refused to renegotiate and pay him what he's worth. So he went, all right, sod you. Happens all the time. And if anyone doesn't understand what that means, okay, so the idiot that was on that football terrorist, if he's on a 5-year contract, when he starts on his first year, well, he's not in a power position to negotiate and ask for his wages what it should be because he's not one of the best strikers in the world yet. When he is, the terms of the contract technically are completely void because now it's not the same player. His value's up. Everything's up. Everything's changed. So he's in complete rights to go and renegotiate his contract. So would you. If you were at your job and you were like, take something simple, you're stacking shelves at the supermarket, but you just happen to stack shelves faster than everybody else, and they give you the assistant manager's job and then the manager's job, and now you're running the whole branch or the part of your country. Oh yeah, but we're still going to pay you the same wage you came in on after 3 years as the shelf stacker. You'd go, wait, what? But it's different. The name of the position he's in is different. So. Oh, he was a shelf stacker and now he's a manager and the whole name is different, so it's a different job. Well, when he came in, he was paid to be a striker at the rate of the striker he was valued at. Now he wants to be paid at the value of the striker that he's at, which is the best in the world. And you'd want that too. The craziness to me, because it's my football club and I care about my football club, is unbelievable. There's no ethics in football. There's players that have done, like... Oh, who's that kiddie? Ran down his contract at Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold, that's the kiddie. Ran his contract and ran off to Real Madrid. Why? Because of money. Got no ethics. He doesn't care about Liverpool. He grew up in Liverpool, playing through the Liverpool Academy. Do you think he really cares about Liverpool? So why is he at Real Madrid for more money? Because it's money. It's nonsense. And the fact that people are trying to sort of, it is the one thing in life. When you start looking and blaming other people at anything, it's always you, all right? 99 times every single problem in your life, it's you. That's just the truth. If Newcastle want to know why they've got problems with the transfer window, with Isak and everything else, guess what? It's you. It's not anybody else. It's your problems. You deal with it. And they're just refusing to. And the fact that you've got so many people just like, I don't know, trying to claim that, oh, but there's this contract. It's not the reality of the world. If you've signed a non-disclosure agreement, it's worth basically as good as your lawyers are. If you've signed a contract, it's as good as your lawyers are. Contracts, non-disclosures are all nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Do you know why we know this? The Premier League rules are all nonsense because you can do it 115 times and break all the charges. Nobody cares. Why? Because it's to do with money. Money talks. Everything else walks. Alexander Isak, he's put himself at. Well, I don't think he's put himself in a situation. I think the media has put himself in this little window of everybody yelling and screaming foul play when Newcastle United should have done the job in the first place, renegotiate his contract, put him on better wages, and he probably would have shut his mouth for at least another year. But they refused to do it, and now they're in a total and utter mess. We'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.